The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to June 18th, the wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day, and let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I am absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it off to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, we begin our day here with a rally that's going on. Dow's up 230, S&P up 28, NASDAQ 100, 117, 22 for the Russell, 132 for the trannies, 56 for the semis, 116 for the NASDAQ Composite, 84 for the New York Stock Exchange Composite. Gold is trading out at, where's Goldilocks? Gold is trading out at 34.05. That's off $1.60. Silver's down 23 cents at 36.91. Light sweet crude off $1.21 at 72 bucks. Natural gas is up 10 cents out there. That's the August contract. That is broken out. That's going to head to higher highs likely. I don't really have anything as I take a look at signals, TD9 count signals. I don't have any TD9 count signals on the stocks that we do track out here. Do have Palantir that's up on my screen. This was something I was looking at last evening on the daily time frame. Palantir confirmed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top 2 days ago and added to that confirmation yesterday. Price still is trading right at about its green oscillator and change on the daily time frame and above resistance, which is profile resistance at 125.26. That would be a initial target to the downside. What we need to watch here, though, on Palantir, that is, it's got a weekly TD9 count top that formed last week. And if price closes above last week's high, 140 even Steven, we're at 139.26, it would negate that signal. Otherwise, you'd have a top on the daily, top on the weekly. And the monthly completed a TD9 count top, but it needs at the end of the month to close back below 133.49 in order for Palantir to give you some type of signal that you might see a 2-month pullback out there. But no other signals that I've got on my screen here. So let's move from there to, let's look at the New York Stock Exchange, the Advanced Client Oscillator, and the Spot VIX. Spot VIX index closed above its 50-day exponential moving average yesterday with a rate of change above plus 10%. Now, I don't have the screen because I don't have my other system set up. Those of you that are a long-time listener, even a short-time listener, for the most part, you're familiar with that screen. You're familiar with that pattern. It's one of the cool patterns that the Spot VIX provides us with, which is that when we see a one-day rate of change above plus 10%, which is what we got yesterday, we typically get a bouncer bottom the following day, at least in the ES Mini, because that's what the fix is really tied to, the S&P 500, that is. And what we look for is we look for bottom patterns on the intraday charts, 30-minute charts preferably, which both the ES and the NQ confirmed Gartley buy patterns or buy the D-point bottom patterns last night at about 10 o'clock, just as the congratulations, by the way, to the Panthers out there. Just as they were trying to they were wrapping up their series. Those of you that watched it, I thought it was a great Stanley Cup. Last night's game obviously was good. I want to see the local team win, but just amazing talent out there. Hockey is my favorite sport. I don't think you can see me, but if Al was showing you the screen, you'd see the back of my phone. The back of my phone, it's Red Wings. As much as I love golf, and I do, I love hockey probably 100 times more. But don't play hockey, not anymore. Not going to fall on my hip ever again. Well, hopefully never again. In any event, but the way that so those of you that are hockey aficionados out there, the consistent thing with the Florida Panthers, and it was consistent through the entire series, and you could really see it last night. It's just their ability to control the boards. And they controlled the boards all the way around the ice. And that frustrated, an absolutely great team, Edmonton, a great team, a great group of players out there. And, they're more middle of the ice folks. And they just couldn't handle all their players. I mean, it's just extraordinary, the talent that we had. I would love to see that team stick together. Probably they won't. Salary caps, all those types of things, but their ability to control those boards was just, it was beautiful to watch. In any event, enough about that, but congrats to them. We were taking a look at this New York Stock Exchange Advanced Client Oscillator, which is the lower left, which is the bottom, which is the left-hand chart out there. The bottom panel is showing you that the advanced client oscillator is trading below zero still. Closed below it yesterday, closed below it the day before that. When prices below that, it tells us that sellers are the ones that have an edge. The issue with that indicator is that it really needs to be used in combination with the spot VIX index. So when that indicator is sitting in sellers have an edge and the spot VIX is trading above the 50-day exponential moving average, and that tells you that sellers have an edge. They really do have an edge, and you'll see markets move lower. In this case here, for example, you can't trade the New York Stock Exchange, but it would go target the 19,599 level. We did see price close above the 50-day exponential moving average yesterday. The 50-day is printed at 2103. We're trading back below today. There's one that says yesterday's move was a false breakout to the upside. Of course, that could change by 4 o'clock. You got Powell is going to release his release his decision at 2 p.m. We all know what the decision is. But he's not going to go ahead and lower rates, that's for sure. In the back of his mind, he's thinking about raising rates. Why is he thinking about raising rates? Because during wartime, that's what rates do. They rise. So he's certainly not going to lower rates with all the shenanigans that are going on across the globe out there. Hopefully, our current administration can find a way to smooth the tensions that are out there. So the spot VIX, you can see trade below the 50-day exponential move. If I didn't give you the number, it's 2103 right now. So if price closes above that at day's end, and you've got the advanced client oscillator below its zero threshold level, as I said, you then have both those indicators telling you that sellers are the ones that want to take control of the market, and they want to take control and do what, Stevie? Well, they'd want to go ahead and test profile support for sure for the S&P 500. So let's go ahead and pull up our daily equity future contracts out here. Let's go see what they're doing, which is just a consolidation right now with regard to the ES and the NQ, the two charts on the left. But the real key target for the ES Mini would be the bottom of its profile at 59.93. If we see price close below that, we're headed to 59.97. I'm not saying we're doing that. Look, we've got a top in the ES. We've got a top in the NQ. We've got a top inside the, do we? Maybe not the Dow Equity Future contract. Well, we definitely don't have a top inside the Russell 2000. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So a number of comments about the hockey game last night inside the Tigers Den out there. So I moved to Florida back in the early 80s. So been here for over 40 years. And, of course, when I moved down to Florida, there was no hockey. There were ice rinks, most certainly. But there was no professional hockey at that stage in time. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning. That was a beautiful thing. And then we got the Florida Panthers out here. And as much as I know that Peaker's saying, pretty amazing what we've done down here in Florida, small market compared to Boston. If there's one thing that most certainly I have learned here about Florida is it's hockey. It's hockey. If you're in Tampa, it is truly it's a Boston area. You go to the bars and everything, and there's just all kinds of folks that have migrated from the north down here. So it's all kind of ex-hockey players that are down here, and you can get some good matches. Just so you get a good game. Just you're playing at you're still playing at those. Like when I grew up, started playing hockey. Those folks that played hockey, you're up at 3:00 in the morning getting ice time. Right? Or weird times of the day to do that. At least that was the way it was in the north out here. And actually, it's the way it was in the south, too, because you had more demand than you had supply of sheets out there to go skate on. In any event, we could talk about hockey all day long, all night long. We won't do that. I won't bore you with that. What I will do, though, is we'll just move over and we will take a look. I was going to mention as we were going to break, take a look at the daily equity future contracts. So let me just go ahead and close that out. So you've got a top in the ES Mini, which is a Rhodes Momentum Indicator topping pattern. Wave number 7 as well. Topping pattern, Rhodes Momentum Indicator top inside the NQ. Wave number 7 inside the Dow Equity Future contract, and no topping pattern inside of the Russell 2000 out there. Just right now, price trading with inside profile level. So let's do this. Let's start taking a look at a number of requests that have come in. Thank you very much for that. Let's start with the first one. First one was really more of a comment, I believe, than it was anything else, which was from Nicholas. He was amazed at how the SMHs, which do have a TD9 count, and wave number 7, letter G, top out here, that is likely to be confirmed today. How prices went right up to that profile, 264.91. The actual high today is 264.91. And Nicholas, I know you're amazed, just as I am. Continue to always be amazed. These TAS market profiles are just terrific tools out there. How they work, you can easily go take a look at how they work and figure out all the math behind that. That's not my deal out there. But they are just simply great tools. Now, in the case of the SMHs, you've got that daily top, you've got the weekly top. So you're going to get a TD9, you're going to get bar number 8 of a TD9 count at the end of Friday. But that doesn't mean that it's a top. That top could come in 2 weeks after that as well. And then on the monthly time frame, we've got price that is now trading into its TD9 count top. It is trading above profile resistance. The swing point itself is July of 2024. Volume out there is 202 million shares. So far, we're halfway through the month with 101 million shares. So price is pushing into that swing point with volume. So what that suggests, longer term, says I want to get up to test that high. How are we going to know if that's going to take place? Well, pretty simply, we'll see the TD9 count pattern inside the SMH for the daily time frame simply negate their pattern. Close above 264.91, and that would be off to the races. We did want to take a look at BBAI. That's for Dan inside the Tiger's Den. BBAI right now is trading out of $4.24. Its issue really continues to be where both buyers and sellers believe there's fair value within inside the profile range of its weekly time frame. So the bottom of the profile is where sellers are, or where buyers are at exclusively. The top of the profile is where sellers are at exclusively. We never know the strength, of the buyers or the sellers. However, when the center line is closer to the bottom, then you have a larger group of buyers, because the center line is where both buyers and sellers believe there is fair value. So on a weekly basis, Dan, inside BBAI, the bottom at 360, the sellers at 585, and both buyers and sellers at 425 out there. That's fair value, and that's what you really need to see price start closing above, not just trade above or tick above, but closing above on that weekly time frame. If that happens, because we have a green oscillator and change line for the weekly time frame, that increases the odds substantially, and I know you're an options trader out there, for price to get up to 585. Look, on a daily time frame, price is above all resistance other than a swing point out here. That's a swing point on a daily basis from back on May the 28th. It had volume there of 94 million shares. Yesterday, you were up with 183 million shares. You closed inside that swing. No, you didn't close inside the swing point there, did you? Yes, you did. Well, hold on. Maybe you didn't. 404, yesterday's close. 405, you did. So you closed inside it with volume. That increased the odds of at least testing the swing high out there. So BBI is definitely pushing higher, and your instinct is that it's going to continue to move higher out there. I don't see anything stopping that, other than you've got to really get that close above 425 out there. It doesn't seem like it should be a big deal, but that's the deal when we take a look at BBAI. And that was for Dan inside the Tiger's Den. Natural gas, I had mentioned that, so I'm just going to simply, when that came in yesterday, we were taking a look at it. In the case of natural gas, we can see that this thing is definitely breaking out on the daily time frame. We're now 3 days. It's got a profile change in trend on the daily time frame. It's trading up into its swing point that was formed back on May the 12th. The low of that swing, 4.038. We close inside that. We're likely to go target the high, 4.193. In the case of the weekly time frame, we are now trading above profile resistance. We're trading above its green oscillator and change line. A weekly close above 3.953, really 3.98 would be even better. That's going to increase the odds of higher price. In the case of higher price for the NQ, there is no resistance other than getting up to its swing point, which was from March of 2025 out here. The monthly time frame is consolidating with inside its bullish structured monthly profile for August. Because we are trading now above the center of that profile and its green oscillator and change line, natural gas for the month of August wants to go target 479. So it looks like it's going to get more expensive for natural gas out there, more expensive to heat my hot tub. Heat your hot tub in June, Steve-O? Yeah, why not? At night, if you want to go out there and relax, we get that baby up to fire it up to about 105 degrees. and it is nice. And then you just get in the pool, which is right now about 78, 79 degrees. That's it's still it's still acceptable. In about 2 weeks from now, it may get to that unacceptable stage. But let's go take a look at Caterpillar. That would be for SAT P is looking to maybe add a few shares, get into it. So let's go take a look what the CAT is doing. And the CAT yesterday on a daily time frame set formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. We just have price that is consolidating with inside its daily profile. The price were to close above the high from June 16th at 364.61 and negates the daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. But right now you've got a top in place out there. Support is 354.61. The weekly time frame will form bar number 8 of a TD9 count this week. That says the top could take place between this week and the next two. Uncertain as to this stage here which one it'll be. If price on the daily time frame, when you're trying to add to your position, if price were to close below 354.61, that's the bottom of its daily profile, that would be our indication that we're headed lower out there. And I would say we'd be looking for maybe about a 2 to 3 week move lower in Caterpillar. I don't know if we're going to get that, but right now, Sat, I would be patient because of the daily top that had formed yesterday. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Just regarding a comment inside the Tiger's Den from Jimmy about the seasonality of the Florida marketplace, and its impact on hockey. First of all, you're absolutely right. It's very seasonal, especially down here in this part of the state. I'd say, it's seasonal, certainly very seasonal down to Miami too, but certainly between Boca and Palm Beach, and I'm wedged in between that. Very, very, very seasonal, but. In the season, when people leave here, it's different each year. What I mean by that is if the Easter break falls late, as it did this year, then people are bugging out. They're gone by May 31st for sure, usually by May 15th for the most part. But we've got plenty of fans down here selling tickets to the games. I didn't look at last night's game. I looked at the game a couple of evenings ago. When they were in town, and ticket price, they're just insane. And I've been to enough NHL Stanley Cup games out there to not have to. It's really quite frankly way more comfortable from my seat inside my little cave out here. As much as I love being at live entertainment, there's when it comes to hockey, I don't know about you, but when it comes to hockey, I'm there to watch the game. And so my seats, where I want to sit, is really basically on one of the corners of the ice, the sheet of glass. I want to be able to watch the entire game out there, even though you can be at one end and you can't see what's going on, towards the other goal. At least you got at least a decent visual. So that's always been my little bit of a bugaboo. Anyways, we're going to look at Coinbase out here. This is for Sat P. Again, just looking to possibly add some shares to his position. So on a daily time frame, what I don't have out here that I can see clearly is any kind of real top out here. What we have is prices trading above right now the top of its daily profile. Top of the profile is a daily base at 264.49. You're also trading into a swing point from May 22nd, 15.6 million shares. In the first 2 hours of trading, we're up with 3 million shares. That's about a 10 million share a day. Lighter volume. Nonetheless, the price closes above 263.51 today. Now, you could easily go up and test that high, so not a time to add shares. You're going to try to do it on a pullback or retracement out here. Weekly chart looks bullish. It's got a nice TD9 count bottom pattern, A to B. Well, it looks like it wants to just go target 302.40. Monthly chart looks good. Looks like it wants to go to 309.02. With regard to pullbacks, I don't know what kind of hankering you've got to want to get in on this trade here, because 302 is certainly open on the daily time frame. We're 265. If you look at the daily time frame chart, you can see 3-day, 3-day, 2-day, 3-day pullback. So, Sat, you want to add a few shares? Do it on the next 3-day retracement out there. About the best advice I could give you, other than looking for some type of correction that's going to take place inside of Coinbase, and we don't have that showing up right now on the weekly or the monthly time frame. So I hope that helps you out. GTE has got an interest in the Hang Seng out there. So if we take a look at the Hang Seng last night, Hang Seng, what did it do? It has got a sell the D point top that formed a couple of days ago with the bear sash candle. And actually what it did last night was it triggered an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. So let's go ahead and draw this in here for GT. Our A point is going to be the high from back on June the 11th. The B point is going to be the low from June 17th. All you do is cut. Yeah, all you do is copy. Come on. Well, there you go. So all we're going to do is we're going to copy, we're going to paste, and then we're going to assemble. And you know what that makes us? That all makes us CPAs out there. So now you've got an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. Its initial price target about 23,400 or so. So watch that. That's going to require a bullish reversal candle to confirm a buy the D point pattern or a Gartley buy point in this at this point in time. The weekly chart, nothing wrong with it. The monthly chart out here for the Hang Seng, let me populate it. I don't believe there's anything really, nothing wrong there. It looks like it wants to move higher. That's at least what the monthly time frame chart is saying, but it's the daily time frame has got to finish its A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. So that's what's going on there. You also wanted to look at the equal EEM out here, emerging markets. Again, those are basically dollar driven from a directional standpoint. If the dollar is rallying, the EEM is moving lower. In this case here, we've seen the U.S. dollar index kind of move sideways to lower, although it did generate a bottom pattern yesterday on the U.S. dollar index, that is. Here we'll take a look at the EEM. All you've got right now, GTE, is a consolidation with inside its profile. 46.51 at support, 47.48 as resistance out there. So consolidation. The weekly time frame. I'll pull this back. Not really a topping pattern that I see out here, nor do I got a TD9 count for the month. No, that's not gold. Why didn't it pick? Oh, I know why I didn't, because Stevie had screwed around with this stuff before, and I didn't go back to fix it. Is that violet? Let's find out. On the EEM, there we go. Yeah, it is. So the EEM, so here we go. So on the monthly time frame, so you got the daily sell, the D point top, and the monthly is getting back to its breakdown resistance level at 46.78. This level was tested back in September of 2024, but that was also a TD9 count top. It was tested again in October of 2024. So in order for the EEM to really get motor into the upside, you need to see a monthly close above 46.95. You're up against resistance there. That's what's holding back the weekly time frame. The daily, I just watch again that 46.51 level out there. Lee, LB wants to go take a look at PPTA. He's looking for an entry into it. So let's get up and take a look at that set of charts. That set of charts is going to start right here, I believe. PPTA right now is trading at 13.27. So this thing gaps to the downside. I don't have any kind of a bottom pattern. You had a new profile that formed yesterday. That new profile has strong support at 13.27. You don't hear me say strong support too often. Why is it strong support, Stevie? Because both the bottom and the center are at the exact same price range. So you're trading above the center and the bottom. It looks to me like PPTA LB wants to make the move to 14.29. I have no idea what it's going to do when it gets to 14.29 though, which will be the top of its profile. 14.24 is the weekly green oscillator and change line out there. On the monthly time frame, you're trading above profile resistance. You're looking for an entry point. What I would love to give you is some type of pattern out here. For example, getting back to the breakout level on the daily time frame, which would be 1140 out there. But I don't have anything to suggest right now that that's what's going to happen. I did have 5 consecutive days to the downside. This will be maybe 3 days to the upside. So maybe you got a 3 to 4 day rally before it pulls back out there. But other than the bottom of that profile, LB, I don't have any other reason to suggest that you take a long position. The only other reason I could come up with would be the monthly chart with price trading above profile resistance at 13.23 out there. So this chart is a little bit more complicated, and I wish that weren't the case, but it is the case, and Stevie's going to be honest with you. No other way to operate. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back. We're going to look at SMR for LB, TMC for Nicholas, IBKR for Duncan Steve, and maybe there's a few other requests inside the Tiger's Den as well. We'll get to those too. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direction. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direction.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. One of our dinners posted a picture of him and his beautiful wife in his T-shirt from the first Florida Panthers game back in 1993. That is a very cool picture for sure, and a nice job. You see, you wore that to a concert. Did you say which concert it was that you went to see down there? Was that a concert down in Miami that you ended up going to see? I might have just simply looked right over it. Anyway, I'll get to the requests out here because we don't want to miss these. This next request coming in from LB as well. He's looking for an entry point into SMR out here, which yesterday formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Price is now trading below that green oscillator and change line, which is at 39.81. So let it. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is going to be day number 2 to the downside. Since this has come off of its bottom, we've seen 1 2-bar retracement and 2 2-bar retracements and 2 3-bar retracements. So what should take place with that Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, especially if price closed below its green oscillator and change line, is price should get back to support. This has a buy zone. So the buy zone is between 30.99 and 34.96. And if price is getting back there and you're at like day number 3 of a retracement out there, that's probably the place for you to start adding to your position, LB. Now, if you're, and I don't recall what you had written down here, if you're looking for an intermediate term trade, then that says you may have to wait a little bit longer. You're going to get a TD9 count topping pattern on Friday. You're going to have a wave number 7 signal that needs a lower high in order to confirm that. And again, the TD9 count top can't take place on the bar following bar number 9, so it could be next week out there. But it does look like SMR is getting ready for maybe a more intermediate term retracement, maybe a 2-week retracement, maybe a retracement that gets you back to 28.22 to 29.44. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. The monthly chart is all out bullish out here, so it's really going to be the daily and the weekly that are going to control price here. Lee, but I've given you the information, you know, what to consider on the daily, what to consider on the weekly chart, and so I do hope that helps you out. As always, thanks for your request. Nicholas writes in, And both Nicholas and Duncan wanted to take a look at ticker symbol TMC. So let's pull TMC up on our screen out here. And TMC is trading out at $7 and a penny out here. This thing is on fire. It negated a TD9 count top 2 days ago. It's got no daily topping pattern. It has a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal, but just because it has a signal doesn't mean anything other than take your umbrella with you, because it could rain. And in this case here, rain would be some type of dark cloud cover candle, some type of bearish reversal candle, and that would identify a top. Short of that, price wants to continue to rally out there. On the weekly time frame, you are negating a TD9 count top this week. That's after basically a 2-week decline out there, and now we're moving topside. The monthly chart says we're moving topside too. You guys looking for an entry point? Shoot, if you got a 2-day pullback out here, you'd be lucky as can be, at least at this stage of the game. So nothing that I see. We'd have to really start getting granular, going down to those intraday charts out there, and it just starts to complicate things. So at this stage here, I'd say the best that I can give you is just a couple-day pullback out here. So this thing is most certainly on fire. Maybe wants to make a run for its IPO. I'm going to assume this was the IPO day back September of 2021. And the high out there is somebody's holding on to a share, or maybe more than one share, at $15.39. You don't think they're pulling for this thing to get back to those highs, do you? Let's go take our next request out here, this one exclusively for the Dunkin' Donut, and that is at IBKR out here. So let's go take a look at that. Is that Interactive Broker? Sure seems like it would be. Man, if it is, this thing really got trashed out there. It got a weekly TD9 count top, whatever it is, whether it's Interactive Broker or not, but it formed a gigantic Rhodes Momentum Indicator top back in February 21st. And then really had a gigantic decline out here. What the heck was going on there back in April? But whatever it did, so you're looking for an entry point out here. We got to go take a look at the daily time frame. The weekly and the monthly are saying, geez Louise, you had a wave number 7 bottom. How about that? Of all the bottoms out here, what we've got, Dunk, is if you go take a look at your chart here on April 21st, you start doing the Chapman wave to the downside, you got to the 7th wave bottom out here. Then you had a TD9 count top that formed on May 16th. So that's your resistance point. Your resistance is 52.61. You're trading at 52.39. So if you're looking to buy this, which I think you are, why don't you do it on a breakout above a prior resistance level? Or did price already take that out? No, I don't think so. So it close above 52.61 is going to suggest that you move higher out there. That's really the best I can do for you with regard to the IBKR charts out here. Weekly doesn't give us anything. We don't have any new profiles or anything like that to assist us with. So that's what you're looking at there. Hope that assists you. Jambalaya inside our Tiger's Den wants to take a look at ticker symbol INV. Z out here. And INVZ is having one heck of a day, printed out at 134, trading above profile resistance. It closed above profile resistance yesterday. Just an additional confirmation that this thing wants to move higher. No topping pattern whatsoever on the daily time frame. Now, A to B equals CD pattern. Sure, but let's just draw that in on the weekly time frame. A little bit less noise to do that. So we'll draw in the A to B mark. You know, we're going to do our CPA magic out here. We're going to certainly try to do the CPA magic and give you some type of a price projection. That price projection getting you up towards the $1.52 level. $1.57 is the top of its weekly profile. Volume on that A to B equals CD. The B point had 39 million shares. So far, we're at 46 for the week. This thing is INVZ is headed up towards the $1.76 level out there. At $1.67, you're going to also run into resistance. That is monthly TD9 count breakdown resistance level. So all looks good there. INVC. Don't put on your seatbelt until you get up towards that $1.67 level. Stay long, Jamba. Mohammed writes in, wants to take a look at Costco. What a great place to shop, especially if you need a lot of stuff. And if we take a look at Costco out there, this is going to go ahead and form a you're good, Mohammed. You're really good. Costco is going to go ahead and form a daily TD9 count. It's going to complete a TD9 count bottom pattern today. So, Mohammed, I think you should consider taking this long trade, short term at least at this stage here, because what price should do, it should rally up towards that 1,008 to 1,015 level. That's both the bottom and then center of its what used to be, what still was a bullish structured profile. It's just that's where a counter trend move would come to an end. The reason why I'm suggesting that Mohammed take that trade now is the weekly, which does have a TD9 count top, which has traded lower for 2. This would be week number 3 to the downside, is right now at support, which is the top of the profile. And so that ought to hold. That ought to give us that rally up towards 1,008, maybe even 1,020 out there. The monthly time frame chart does have a Rhodes momentum indicator top, but the work to the downside could be done. The reason why I say it could be done is because price found support in that buy zone. And again, that buy zone here was between 850.05 and 907.09, and that was courtesy of those beautiful TAS market profiles. So Costco may not just be the best place to go shopping today, especially if you're on a big screen TV out there. It might be a place for you to consider taking a long position. Dan, you should go to work out there and see if you come up with a good options trade to pass on to everyone inside the Tiger's Den. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. Hey, we're back at the IBKR charts, the interactive broker charts on my screen. Peak G was kind enough to let me know it was a 4-for-1 split that took place. I reset my charts. Now we got reset charts and it looks a whole lot better out here. The daily time frame on the interactive brokers forms a Rhodes momentum indicator topping pattern that has led to a consolidation with inside its daily profile. The range there between support at 50.79, resistance, which we're testing at 52.85. The weekly time frame chart shows prices trading above its green oscillator and change line and profile resistance. As soon as the daily can close above 53.38, you should be back off to the races. The races will get you back towards its all-time highs, or really 55.81, which is the top of the monthly profile. So that's a better review of interactive brokers. Mohammed wanted to take a look at BlackRock. I believe BLK is a ticker symbol. Now we're pulling up and taking a look at BLK has got a Rhodes momentum indicator top where price traded with inside its daily profile. It's a bearish structured profile with a sell zone basically where it's trading right now between 984.64, 994.21, support being 955.92. The weekly time frame chart for BLK shows that price has got significant resistance at its breakdown level. It's been tested for 3 weeks. 3 of the last 4, 996.34. You know a close above that is going to be positive. However, you have profile resistance at 1,009.84. If you can close above 1,984, then BLK ought to take us up to the 108.422 level. So that's what we've got going on. We've been through all the requests out there. That is a beautiful thing. If we take a quick peek here, I don't know what's going to pop up on our screen. It's the NQ. Let's just to finish the show off here today. The 60-minute time frame chart is just about to end. The TD9 count for the 60-minute time frame chart was negated for the NQ. Ordinarily, I would tell you what price should do is head higher. And that's what I would tell you. But as we get towards that 2 o'clock time frame when Chair Powell is going to come out, markets tend to usually get back towards the flat level. What's he going to say? He's going to say, I'm not lowering interest rates. Under his breath, he's going to say, but I might be raising them. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Folks, stay tuned for all the great programming. I'll see you on Friday. That's right. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you at 11 a.m. sharp. Have a terrific Thursday, and I'll see you on Fabulous Friday. Take care, folks.